Right, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I just quickly want to say thank you to all of my subscribers, and I really appreciate you all watching my videos. I've just hit 2,000 subscribers, which is really cool. The first 1,000 was really slow compared to the second 1,000, so that's really uplifting, I suppose. So thank you to all of my new subscribers. Thank you to my old subscribers who have stuck around. And today, as promised, I'm going to make my houseplant tour video. I'm going to show you every single houseplant I have, so it's going to probably be quite a long video, and I'm yet to decide whether it's going to be a two-part or just one part. But yeah, I'm going to show you each individual one and kind of go through any very quick care or quick experience I have with them, to try and keep it a little quicker. But I guess I'll start with my smaller plants around here and then work my way around to the larger ones. You'll probably notice there are quite a few that are not in my collection anymore, and that's because some of them did die and some of them I have just got rid of or given away. So if you notice any missing, that's why. But yeah, I'll get on with it now and I'll just turn the camera around. Right, so I'm going to start off showing all of my smaller plants. So this is mostly my succulents, cacti, that sort of thing. And they are all in my south-facing window, so they get quite a lot of sun, and I haven't really got the space under my propagator light for them, so that's why they're over here. Although actually this one normally is under my propagator light, it's just here for the sake of filming, I suppose. So this is one of my aloes. This didn't come with a name, it just says aloe, but I think it was like one of the Christmas, someone mentioned to me what they thought it might have been before. It was one of the Christmas aloes or something like that. But it's looking really nice. You can see the little baby coming up here, and he's doing really well. I'm gonna change the soil in there, but I'll do that at a different time. Here I've got my Echeveria. I think this is the only Echeveria I own, and it is also non-identified, but one of my friends helped me identify it, and we think it's the was it purple pearl or something like that. It's looking really nice. It's grown really leggy, but the top is looking really nice. So if you just cut the rest out, the top's looking really nice. And I was debating on whether to propagate it, to try and if I cut it off and root it. I was considering the idea, but that's looking really pretty at the moment. Here I have one of my little cacti. He's not really grown much from what I can tell, but he's looking really nice. I probably should plant it into the pot or something, but he's always just been like that. He's always been like that. Then next we have my very sad looking bird of paradise. It's looking really wet at the moment. I did just water it yesterday and it's not dried out very quickly. Although it's in a clay pot, so it should be drying out fairly quickly. But I'm going to be transplanting it because it's not like in this pot. The leaves are curled up because it was dry for a week or so. And it's just looking terrible right now. So I don't have high hopes that it's going to make it. I just need to transplant it. Once I transplant it, it'll have a better chance. So there's that. And then here I have a plant that I'm really struggling to pronounce the name of. It's Ledibora, something like that. And this I got from a mystery houseplant unboxing, and it's really nice looking, but it's never really grown too much, and it hasn't flowered since I've had it. And I've had this, it's got to be coming up for a year now. But it's really pretty. I love the leaves, and I think in this pot it does look quite nice. And it has spread, the bulbs are growing a lot bigger. Just there's not too much foliage, but the foliage it does have is really pretty. I do need to go through and pull out all those old dry bits. And then here I have an Aloe somaliensis. This one was gifted from one of my close friends, and it's looking really nice right now. And she did make the pot herself as well, so it's lovely. And that's my name. Yeah, so this is definitely one of my favourites. The pot is so nice as well, and this aloe has grown quite a lot since I've had it. and it's looking really fleshy. Like, it was quite dry for a while, as this is going to be a common theme with all of my plants, but I watered it and it really perked up, so it's looking really nice. And those like patterns on the leaves are just so nice. And I went to Wisley with the friend that gave me this in February, and they had loads of really mature ones of these, and they just look amazing. They get huge, so I'm really looking forward to this putting on some growth this year. Right, next we have one of my Crassula. This is the ogre ear, or Crassula, I believe it's called Crassula goblin. Looking really nice. And this really dries out, and the leaves go so wrinkly that it looks like they're all just going to drop off, and then you give it a drop of water and then they all fill back up again. So I think I do need to start watering a little bit more often than I am, but it is looking really nice, and I just love it in that pot as well. These pots I managed to get these from like a fish shop, and I got them for 50p each, which was an absolute bargain. I only picked up 3 of them. I wish I could go back and get more, but I don't know if they have them anymore. But yeah, lovely plant. Looks really nice. Looks almost like a bonsai tree, this guy. Right, moving on, I'll go to these little cuttings here. I'm thinking are probably going to die. These were just some Easter cactus, and they're just looking a bit sorry for themselves. For some reason, a lot of mine got brown spots just like this here, and then they all died off really quickly. So I'm not sure whether it's some sort of disease, and I don't really want to play around with it too much. I don't want to touch it and then touch my other plants. Over here we have one of my propagations from a friend. I'm not sure of the name of this guy, but it is a type of, I believe it's a type of sedum, and it's looking really sweet. It's still very young, but looking really nice, and that was in my previous video that you guys probably would have seen. Over here I have, this has got spider webs on it, excuse the cobwebs. This is one of my euphorbias. I'm not sure of the variety name or the species name, but this is looking really nice. Not grown at all since it's been in this pot, and it's actually starting to, I don't know if you can see, but in the base there it's going a little bit brown, so I'm a little bit worried that I'm going to lose it, but it's looking nice, and if I do lose it I'll just replace it. So this was only was it 99p? Yeah, it was 99p, so it's not going to be too much of a loss, and it hasn't put on too much growth. So yeah, so there's that guy. I really like this pot. This pot I got for, I think it was like £5, and it's just a simple like clay pot in a little wooden stand, but I think it looks really effective, and I love the little stones around the top as well. So there's that guy. Right, so next up I have this little tray of bits and bobs. So here I have a Hoya retusa, which has looked the exact same since I bought it. It has not grown much at all. I do need to plant it into a bigger pot or something, but I just have never really got around to doing that. I'd really like to get one that has like the larger windows. Like, you can kind of see the windows on this one. I don't know. You can kind of see them, but I'd like one, yeah, you can see it there. I'd like one that has like large windows. Have a little Christmas cactus here, a little propagation. I have some Crassulas. Crassula, this is the goblin cuttings, Crassula ovata, and then a miniature type of Crassula here, which was a cutting from a friend, and that one's looking really cute, very small. Then what have we got next? Let me try and make some space. And then here we have, I forget the name, yeah, Echeveria. Oh, I do have 2 Echeverias. So this guy was very purple when I picked it up, like the underside of the leaves was really purple, but it's kind of gone a little bit more green. Again, this also needs to be potted up into something different. I've just been sticking it, it's got roots coming out the bottom, you can see that. I've just had it in here since I've had it really, and it's just kind of never really been appreciated too much, so it's in there. Let me try and make some space. Next I have another cactus here. I don't know the name of this one, but this was a gift from a friend, and I bought this. This is actually a pot, like it's a foot for a pot, but I saw it and I was like, that would make a really nice pot for a houseplant. So it doesn't have a hole in, but I just obviously water this very little and like few and far between, and I think it looks so nice in that pot. So that's probably my favourite pot, to be honest, and it's not even made to be used for this. So there's that. I'm just going to have to change the camera angle because the next ones are going to be a little bit bigger. Right, so next up I have my little Chlorophytum, which I recently potted into this pot. Looking really nice and healthy. Yep, so that's just the general Chlorophytum. Right, so moving slightly further around, please excuse the half-painted wall. I have my Sansevieria trifasciata variegata here. This one is looking so nice. It is absolutely exploded and it's almost outgrowing this pot. Like the new growths are getting very close to the edge of the pot, you can see there. But that is just such a nice display. So these are looking really, really good. And this is actually, I think this is my oldest houseplant that I have. I've had this for like 3 years, I think, something like that. So not very old, but the oldest I have. Then I have my Philodendron micans here, which is growing super long, and I'm gonna cut this up and propagate a lot of it to make a new plant because the top is thinning out a lot, like a lot. So to try and reinvigorate it and make it look pretty again, I'm gonna chop it up and propagate that. But that's grown, that's like 2.5 foot long now. Then my Ceropegia woodii, the variegated version, is looking really nice. I potted this up the other day, as you guys would have seen in my other video. But it's looking really pretty. It's not like it's going to take a long time to fill out the pot, but it is just so nice, and it's really pink at the moment because it's under my propagator light. It's really showing a lot of colour, so it's really nice. I've got here my Ficus elastica, the variegata, which is looking really nice as well. It did lose its newest leaf, unfortunately, because I underwatered it when it's about to start raining. So that's looking alright, and it needs repotting. I might start feeding this one or something just to kind of give it a bit of a oomph, because I know they're slow growing, but like I've had it for about 4 or 5 months, and it's only grown 1 leaf, and that 1 leaf fell off. So yeah, I'm just going to change the camera angle again because it's really difficult to film in this little corner of my room. Right, so this corner is where my propagator light covers. So all of these plants here are normally under the light. The light is up here, and I've put tinfoil around it so that it doesn't shine everywhere in my room. But it's obviously currently off. Here I have my Oncidium, so my orchid that I rescued for like £2, I think I got it for, something like that. So that's doing okay. It has dried out a little bit, so the pseudo bulbs have gone a little bit wrinkly, but I'm trying to kind of focus getting some nice water in there, and I'm going to try and feed it a little bit. Here I have my Sansevieria wowfin, which I potted up the other day. I need to give that another water because I only gave it a little water the other day. So my Sansevieria silver flame in the corner there, obviously this gets some direct light from the propagator, from the LED grow light. So he's just over in the corner there, loving life. Right, so here's my Sansevieria moonshine. It's doing really well since transplanting it out of the Hoya mix, and I don't know if you can tell, but like these new leaves here have come in. So there's 2 new leaves there, and on each plant there is a lot of new growth. You can tell by the lighter colour. So that's doing really well. I'll show you a better look of that another time when I remove it from where it is, because I'm having to use like a light to light up this corner because it's really dark otherwise. I have here my Euphorbia obesa, which is exactly the same size as it was. It's not put on any growth really. I hardly ever water this. I've watered it. I water it maybe once a month, but it's looking really cute still in his little tortoise shell. Still doing really well. And then this I'm using as a little propagation chamber for my ping pullings. I'll just show you in there quickly. And there's also a begonia leaf in there. But yeah, that's just doing really well. Keeps it nice and humid, and hopefully they'll propagate a lot quicker in there. So then moving under here, I have a few of my aloes. So I've got that aloe, which I'm uncertain of the name. Then my aloe variegata, my aloe pink blush in the corner there. He's looking nice. And then I've got my Pinguicula Tina and then Pinguicula Weezer, and they're both in flower currently, and the colours that they're showing are just beautiful, especially on the Weezer. Then my Starfish Sansevieria cylindrica. I have the mix here, which I showed in my previous video. And then down here I have some seedling Sarracenias, and then some more seedling Sarracenias, which have dried up a little bit. Well, I allowed them to dry up a little bit, that's why the tops have died slightly, but it's still perfectly healthy, I promise. And then just a couple of propagations of some Drosera banata, Drosera filiformis in there. I won't open them up because they're not much to look at the moment. But this is what's under my grow light currently, and it's all doing really well. So I'm just going to continue around the room. Right, so I'm going to quickly show you my Calathea obtusifolia, which is doing really nicely. It does have a few old leaves that need chopping off. As you heard that crunch, that's some of the old leaves around the bottom. But this guy is doing really well. He's very dusty, very big. Jesus, that is huge. I didn't realise how big that was. But you can see there the old leaves, they just need cutting off, and that's no problem. They just, as the new ones grow in, a couple of the old ones do die off sometimes. It's really dusty, really big, and yeah, that's looking great. And there's not too many brown spots on the Calathea at the moment. Like some of the leaves, like this new leaf, is completely free of brown spots. There's nothing, well, I say that, there's one there, and this is covered in dust. But like the old leaves, like this guy, if I can try and show you that, a couple of crispy edges, but nothing too much. And it doesn't make it look, it doesn't really make it, it doesn't take away from it really. But this side are a little bit more brown. During the winter, I guess, I don't know, I'm trying to think of how humid it's been, because these like humidity. It's fairly humid in England a lot of the time anyway. So I think, oh, and in my room it's quite humid because I've got some, I keep some like animals in here, so it's fairly humid sometimes, most of the time. And then obviously having all these plants in here kind of keeps the humidity up as well. So yeah, that's looking really good, apart from obviously the dead leaves, ignore those, but like, yeah, that's huge. And I got that from IKEA a long time ago for £8, so definitely worth the purchase, and it takes up a nice space on the desk, and it covers like the wires of the TV, so yeah, there's that guy. Right, so here I have another one of my Sansevierias. This is the Sansevieria, what was the name? Zeylanica, it was, and it's doing okay. It's kind of, I think I may have a bit of a problem with this one, because one of these leaves has rotted off here, and it's gone like mush. So I think there may be a bit of a problem with this guy, but at the moment he's looking okay. And I keep this really dry, most of the time it's really dry, so maybe I need to give it a little bit of water. I'll pull off that old leaf. But yeah, he's put on a lot of new growth, and he's looking alright. Like those nice long pale coloured leaves are really nice. So there's that one, and then what's left is I need to show you the plants that are hanging in my window, so I'm going to take them down one at a time and show you individually, although the Ceropegia is very tangled with the other plants, so it's going to be a bit of a mission, but I'll give it a go. Right, so here I have my Scindapsus Enjoy. Oh, that pot feels so cringy on my fingers. This has actually grown quite a lot. I've kind of got it put away like behind a couple of other plants by my other window, and it kind of just sits there, and I don't water it too often. You can see a few of the leaves need removing from there, and it's growing very one-sided. Like this side is nothing, and then this side is like all the party's at. But yeah, it's showing a couple of signs like the variegated leaves. Obviously this kind of happens, you need to kind of accept that that's just going to happen. Oh, I feel like my light's about to fall over. A couple of the leaves are showing brown patches, but this doesn't get any direct sunlight, so it's kept to a minimum, I suppose, and very, very slow growing, but really, really pretty, and it looks nice in this pot as well. So that's looking good, and it's grown quite a lot. Next up I have my Scindapsus pictus, which is looking lovely. It's kind of not looking much bigger than it was. There's a dead leaf under here. The leaves when they die on here, like I've never seen it yellow, so yellow. Like it looks like a banana, like that sort of yellow. So the leaves when they die are so pretty. Not that you want dying leaves. There's another leaf dying under here as well. I guess where the like the under leaves just like that's not so pretty. The leaves that get like trapped under kind of just don't end up seeing the light. Yeah, look, this stem has dropped all his leaves. But it's looking really nice. Got some new leaves coming in, and yeah, really happy with this. This is still definitely one of my favourite plants that I have in here. And the pot I think is just lovely as well. I took this outside and showered it down with a hose just to get all the dust off the leaves. I say that there's dust on the leaves. I did that like I think 2 weeks ago, and it really looked a lot better after doing that. So I'll probably do that quite a bit more often with my plants now that we're coming into the summer months, and it's not going to shock them too much going out into that cold, because it's not cold. But yeah, it's looking really good. Some new leaves coming up. I'm debating whether I want to like cut it and propagate this, but then again I'm thinking maybe I'll just let it do its thing, because it seems to be enjoying its life, and I don't want to go in and chop it up every time it looks like it's doing good. But this side, again, the same with my other plant, kind of one side bare and then the other side is just lush. So this is looking really, really nice. And can you hear that squeaking with the leaves rub? They're so rubbery, aren't they? So yeah, looking really good. I love like the speckles, like the patterns on the leaf I think go really well with the pot, because it's a very similar like speckly pattern. So anyway, that's looking really good. Now I'm going to grab down the hanging plants. Right, so next up I have my Nepenthes Hikari. Yeah, Hikari, and this has grown a lot. I don't know when you guys last saw this, but it wasn't in this pot. Pretty sure it wasn't in this pot before. But it's grown really well. It's a shame this trap was looking really good for the past few weeks, but it's now started to die off. There is another trap in the back here that's a good size. Looking really pretty, and I think, yeah, that one's got a dead spider in it, which is lucky for me. But yeah, this is looking really good. The leaves are looking a little bit pale for my liking. I did run out of rainwater and I watered it once with tap water, so that may be why. But since then it has like gone a lot more green, and it seems to be doing a bit better. And you can see there are a few smaller traps around. Well, that one's died, but there's a new trap coming in there. Yeah, this is really interesting plant. Like I'm still deciding whether I like it or not. I want to try not to spill that juice on me. But it's looking like it's definitely an interesting one, and I do like it. It is nice, but I just don't want it to get I don't want it to decline. So basically, because I keep it by the window. When the window's open and the leaves are developing and they're developing their traps, they sometimes don't develop their traps because of the cold air coming in. Because I do keep my window open quite a lot of the time, so you see some of these leaves just don't have traps, and I think if they all had traps it would be a lot more interesting. This one's grown a really long trap actually, if you look at that one compared to like this guy where he's keeping it very close to the leaf, so that's going to be quite a cool one. But yeah, definitely, this was so small when I first got it, so it's grown so much, and I'll be able to propagate it. Did I already say that? I'm not sure, but I'll say it again. I'll be able to propagate it because it's grown a lot of side shoots. So yeah, that is my Nepenthes. My only Nepenthes that I have. Oh, did I just get dust? Got dust all over my top. Next up I have one of my Peperomias. This is one of my oldest Peperomias. This is Peperomia Anglica. Nope. Anglica. Peperomia is it angulata? Yeah, angulata. Anglica. I think that's a type of Drosera. This is flowering at the moment and it's looking really nice. It needs a good shower in the garden because it's getting a bit dusty, but this surprisingly has not grown. Like I've had this for I was about to say years. I've had this for months and it really has not grown too much since I got it. Like when I first put it in the pot, it was probably covering to about here, and then they just grow and then kind of stop and don't grow too long, which I think is quite good because it kind of keeps it in a nice presentable manner for a longer time, and I don't have to propagate it. I don't have to prune it. I have propagated this once and sent some cuttings to one of my friends, but other than that I've left it to do its own thing. I water this probably, I want to say once a month, but maybe twice a month. Like I really give it such a little bit of water, and it seems to enjoy it. So yeah, that's looking really good, and it just looks really nice in that pot, and I love that it's hanging. So there's that, and then I'm going to grab the other couple. Right, so next up I have my Hoya Canosa Crimson Princess, and this one has grown quite a lot since you last saw it. It's not huge yet, but it's looking really nice. It's got a lot of new leaves, and it does look really pretty up there. I water this very, very little. Yeah, and it rewards me nicely by the looks of it. Yeah, there's some new leaves coming in here and up here. Yeah, I'm not going to propagate this. I kind of just want one of these. Again, it's growing on one side like all my plants seem to do, but it's looking so pretty, and it is really big actually. So yeah, there's that. And then my last plant to show. Right, and then my last plant to show you is going to be so tricky to show. It's my Ceropegia woodii, and it is currently, I think it's like 8 foot long. It's going to be so tricky. So this hangs from a window, and I kind of have to lay it over the top of my other plants because it is just an absolute tangled mess, but it's just really long and tangled, and I need to cut it and propagate it. And it's just like it looks like there's like nothing in the pot, and then all of this is hanging from it. It's insane. And I did notice when I was moving it, let me try and place it down without breaking anything. I noticed when I was moving it that the actual stems are growing what look, well, I don't really know what they are. I'm going to assume that they are like tubers, like, so that you can cut that, plant that, and it will grow like a tube. That's basically the equivalent to growing roots on its stem. That's what I think that is. But if you know what that is, definitely let me know because that's really interesting. Imagine if it's some like disgusting bug. I was like, ooh. I think they're definitely tubers. So I'll be able to cut them off and plant them. I'll look into it, but let me know if you know. Oh, there's big ones here. This shows how little I look at this plant because, yeah, there's some really big ones in there. Look, that's so strange. Interesting, but strange. And yeah, I think I'm going to need to cut this very soon because look at that mess. But it must be enjoying where it is because it's growing like crazy. So that is everything at the moment. I do have a terrarium that has some really nice plants in that I may quickly show you guys, but then that's going to finish off the video. I do have a couple of plants downstairs as well, but I'll include those in a separate video as well. Yeah, so I'll quickly show you the terrarium. Right, so here is the terrarium that I was talking about. So in there I have a nice Calathea, a fern, and then just some other ground covering plants here. And if you're wondering what is kept in here, I'll give you a little sneak peek. He's currently burrowed under there, so you can't really see him very well. It's actually a girl, so But that's what's in there, and that's why I've never really shown this on my channel before, because I'm not sure what sort of reception I'll get from it, but it looks really pretty. Right, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little collection video, and let me know what your favourite plant was that I have, and if you have any plants that you think I should add to my collection, definitely let me know in the comments. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more. And once again, I appreciate you all for being here, so I'll see you later.